Hello there. Today we'll be doing stacks. We'll be doing the problem valid parentheses today. Okay, let's check it out. In this particular problem, we are given a string that has a bunch of open and closed parentheses of three different types. And we need to make sure that this is a valid or invalid state. So an invalid state would be a closing parentheses, then the opening parentheses, or just in one of these cases where there's an open parentheses at the end. So one way to deal with this is to use a stack. With a stack, we can insert items and remove items one at a time. So we insert an item and say we found another item, a closing bracket, and we found an opening bracket, we can cancel those out. Now we have an empty stack. However, if we have an opening bracket, a closing bracket, and we have opening bracket, we can never cancel these out, even if we do have a closing. This will stay there indefinitely until the end. So what does this tell us? That means that what's important to us is that there must be an opening bracket for every closing bracket. If there's no opening bracket for a closing bracket, then that means that we can return false. So this is the reason why we want to look at every closing bracket, because that's the more important factor. If we look at the opening bracket, who knows what's next? I mean, it doesn't matter what the next bracket is. It could be another opening bracket. It could be, let's say, even a closing bracket. I mean, like, well, of course, closing bracket. But any other opening bracket will be fine if you're looking at opening brackets. But if you're looking at closing brackets instead, you must the previous item must be opening bracket. Otherwise, it would fail. Okay, let's just go through the problem, and if you are not convinced, you can try to use opening brackets for your corresponding dictionary. So this is a corresponding bracket, brackets, parentheses. I think brackets, because they use the terminology open and closing brackets. Corresponding brackets is going to be let's say, we're gonna swap these around soon, so just bear with me. It's just easier to type these out this way because of the way the coding editor is. So having some typing troubles there. So let's swap these around. I think I made a mistake here, typing out this way, but that's fine. I mean, it's a learning experience. So okay, that looks good to me. Okay, now we have the corresponding brackets. Let's do for the C, the character, in the string. What we're gonna do is, if C is in the corresponding bracket, that means that we have a closing bracket. Equals C. And if there's a closing bracket, the opening bracket is going to be equal to corresponding C. And the corresponding bracket. And the opening bracket is going to be equal to stack minus 1. So if, well, first thing is if there's a stack, and then we check, and the corresponding bracket is equal to the most recent bracket, then we can pop those two. Otherwise, we can return false because we cannot pop the item. Else, let's just append the character, whatever it is. We don't know if it's a closing bracket or opening bracket. I don't know if this line makes any sense, but let's return not stack. Corresponding bracket. So we have to clean up this code a little bit. This should be the fastest way to do this, but there are a few kinks in here. I think this itself is much better, and we can remove this. One thing to note is that we do not know what C is, and we do have to do some mental calculation about what it means. So one thing we can do is make a comment. So if so basically we can change the name of corresponding bracket to closing bracket, close bracket, to open bracket, close to open bracket. I think that way we found that, oh, we're looking at a closed bracket and we're looking for our opening bracket, and that way we have better terminology to see that, oh, we're looking for an opening bracket for stack -1. If it's a closing bracket, then we can return false, and it must be the correct opening bracket. So let's submit. I think that terminology is a little better. I don't know what the reason is for these random scores. They're all over the place, like literally all over the place. But that is the way that we will phrase this particular problem so that it's easier for us to comprehend. Yep, and I think we are good for this video. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Want more videos, check the link in the description below. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much.